What's up, guys? It's Travis from Travis Takes the Loop here, and welcome to my first ever episode, or podcast, whatever you would like to call it, of Travis Takes the Loop. Pretty much all I do is talk about Chicago sports. I go from Cubs, White Sox, Bears, Blackhawks, Bulls. Some teams, obviously, I won't be able to cover every single podcast if there's something really going on with them. I will try to make sure I get every team in for the most part, but if nothing is really that intriguing going on with the team, then I probably won't really be talking about them as much. Probably won't be talking about the Blackhawks as much today, if at all, but I do got you with some Cubs, I got you with some White Sox, some Bulls news, and definitely some Bears news that happened today. But without further ado, let's get into this Cubs game. We're going to start off with that. The Cubs ended up winning 6-4. The game ended like maybe a little over an hour ago. Cubs ended up winning 6-4, and it was actually a little bit of a comeback effort where we saw a little bit of what the offense was doing kind of back in April, early May, when the Cubs offense just was hitting lights out. I mean, it was home runs left and right, runs left and right. That's kind of what it felt like today. A lot of clutch two-out hitting, and a lot of comebacks. It felt like it was a very offensive-driven game. It felt like at the start. But let's just get into the stats real quick. Let's start off with the Rays, as Christopher Morel, 3-run bomb in the first inning. The former Chicago Cub hits it off Matthew Boyd. What else can you really say? I mean, Matthew Boyd really just left a fastball over the middle of the plate to a very powerful hitter. He can hit that one a long way, especially he probably had some extra juice this game, especially against the Chicago Cubs. He had some more. He had more drive in this game against his former team, as they did trade him. Second inning, the Cubs did come along as they scored 3 runs. Ian Happ with the game-tying run in the second inning to tie the game, and then next inning, I want to say it was Moises Ballesteros' first career triple. That man, guys, like, Ballesteros really isn't the fastest player, but he got his first career triple and drove in the run to take the lead, and then you had Ian Happ hit a home run to make it 5-3, and that was pretty much the winning run. The Rays did end up tacking on another run, but it didn't really do much, as the Cubs still ended up winning 6-4. We'll go with the pitching stats with the Cubs real quick. Matthew Boyd went 5 innings, 5 hits, given up 4 earned runs, 2 walks, and 1 strikeout. Matthew Boyd, not a typical Matthew Boyd game today, as you've seen better from him in the past. He pitched way better last game. Even though he gave up like 5 straight hits to start the game, he still only gave up 2 runs that entire game. He went 7 innings. Today, he only won 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, and the Cubs ended up winning. The last game, they were playing the Nationals, and they ended up losing that game 2-1. So that's kind of what you get with the Cubs offense a little bit, is those inconsistencies. Porter Hodge came in for an inning. 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 1 strikeout. Phenomenal. Played great, pitched great. Drew Pomeranz came in. Went 1 inning, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 1 strikeout. Again, the bullpen pitching lights out so far. Brad Keller came in, who's probably been the best bullpen piece of them so far this season. Went 1 inning, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 2 strikeouts. So he was the leading strikeout man for the Cubs in pitching wise. And then Andrew Kittredge came in to close the game out. It was a 6-4 game. Andrew Kittredge comes in. 1 inning, 0 hits, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 1 strikeout. So the bullpen didn't get anybody on base. No one got on base from the bullpen. So the bullpen this year has been up and down, but today they've been great. And as of recently, they've been pitching pretty well. We'll see what happens tomorrow for the Saturday game, as we'll move on to the next. Next segment of this pod, or the next team of this pod, as we got the Chicago White Sox, as they haven't played yet. They got Martin Perez on the bump today, as he has a 3.15 ERA, 39 strikeouts. He's 1-4 this year, and he's a left-handed pitcher. And they're going up against Tanner Beebe, or Bibee, or Beebe, however you say his name, or however you want to say it. He's 9-11 this year, 4.69 ERA, 139 strikeouts. And let's get into the lineups for both teams. As the White Sox, they have Mike Tauchman leading off. Shout out Mike Tauchman. He's loved him when he was on the Cubs. Kyle Teal, who's been an up-and-coming star for them this year, rising star for them this year. Lennon Sosa, the first baseman's playing today. Colson Montgomery, superstar in the making, he's playing today. Miguel Vargas at third base today. Andrew Benintendi, the DH. We got Brooks Baldwin out in center field. Chase Mydroth is playing second base, another one of those younger prospects for the White Sox. And then we got Robertson playing left field. So the White Sox, they're actually coming off a series win against the Tampa Bay Rays. As we talk about it real quick, we'll talk about that really quickly. The White Sox, they took the series from the Rays again this year. I think they've taken both series against them. They beat them 5-1 yesterday. From the efforts of Shane Smith, who went 5.2 innings, 4 hits, 0 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. You got Tyler Gilbert, who went only 0.1 innings, probably because he got the last out in that 5th inning or the 6th inning, my bad. He got the strikeout. Brennan Eiser came in. He got the job done with 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, 0 strikeouts. Tyler Alexander came in. He gave up a run. That was the only run of the game for the Rays. And then Jordan Leisure ended up closing the game out or sealing the game with the win. And looking at the stats here, Chase Mydroth went 2 for 2. No RBIs, but he also had 2 walks, so he was on base every single time he went up there. Edgar Caro 1 for 4. Didn't really do much. Curtis Mead went 1 for 4. We got Colson Montgomery 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs. Miguel Vargas had a walk and a run scored. Michael A. Taylor, he had an RBI. Brooks Baldwin had a walk. Corey Lee, 0 for 2, didn't really do much this game. Kyle Teal, 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs, so no home runs hit for the White Sox in that game, but they still ended up getting the job done with great pitching. Great pitching from Shane Smith in the bullpen, besides Tyler Alexander, who still, he only gave up 1 run. The White Sox this game, they're facing a tough Guardians team, as they are over 500. They are trying to make it into the playoffs, trying to squeak in there, and the Guardians are looking to find every ounce of momentum to try getting them past this hump right now, as it seems like they've been hovering around 500 all year. 4 games, 3 games, 2 games over 500, it seems like, for the past month or so. They're trying to squeak into the playoffs. White Sox are trying to play spoiler, so that's going to be interesting tonight. Statistical-wise, Martin Perez is on the bump for the White Sox against Tanner Bibee or BB, and the White Sox, they may have the edge tonight just because with the stats, Martin Perez is technically having a better season, but definitely less appearances. But Tanner Bibee, he used to be a decent pitcher, so we'll see what happens. We'll see which White Sox offense shows up. They've been pretty good ever since All-Star break, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the White Sox. Really, they just gotta have some good situational hitting. Got to play good defense, and they got to hope that bullpen can keep it. They got to hope that bullpen can, what's the word I'm looking for? Keep it close, keep it safe, make sure they can hold it down for them. And this Martin Perez may have to go 5 to 6 innings of maybe just 1-run ball, 0-run ball, maybe 2-run ball, as the White Sox bullpen has blown a lot of games this year. But yeah, that's pretty much it with the White Sox. Next up, you know what? Let's go with the Chicago Bulls. We got some news with the Chicago Bulls. I posted this on my TikTok recently, all my social medias. Josh Giddey re-signs with the Chicago Bulls for 4 years, $100 million deal. Finally, after it felt like months of trying to get this deal done, the Bulls and Josh Giddey were finally able to find mutual ground. Josh Giddey's here for 4 years, $100 million. They met in the middle, $25 million. And personally, I'd like this deal. I think this is not a bad contract for Josh Giddey. I know the Bulls are trying to keep it at $20 million, keep him around $90 to $92 million. But Josh Giddey, this guy had a great year last year at the end of the season. Overall, I think he had a really underrated season overall. If you look at the stats, when you look at the stats of Josh Giddey, 2021, we'll actually go through all 4 years. 2021 with OKC, averaged 12.5 points, had 7.8 rebounds, 6.4 assists. Year after, 16.6, 7.9, 6.2. Year after, when he had that down year when Shea Gilgeous-Alexander took over, he only averaged 12.3, 6.4 rebounds, and 4.8 assists, which was a career low for him that year, and assist-wise and point-wise. And then this past year, he wasn't. Here's the thing: Josh Giddey's not going to be a scorer for you. he's going to do all the things around you better. So like rebounding, assist, pushing the pace. He averaged 14.6 points, 8.1 rebounds, which is a career high, 7.2 assists, which is a career high, and he did that in 30 minutes, and he played in 70 games last year. Josh Giddey, I like this deal. I do like Josh Giddey a lot. I think he's going to be a good player, a great player for us in the future for the Chicago Bulls. I mean, you just got to look at the stats, man. I mean, 8.1 rebounds, that's a career high for being a point guard. It's not just like he just scores. He can pass, he can rebound. He's a big point guard, and he's fast, too. He pushes the pace. He's trying to push the pace. They're trying to score points. And Josh Giddey just, overall, he makes the team a lot better around him. Like, he likes these high flyers in Modest Buzelis. You got Modest. You got Nikola Vucevic, who isn't really a high flyer, but Josh Giddey will find a way to get him involved. Kobe White, who's your 2 guard, which preferably he should be there at the 2 guard. Realistically, I like the Bulls team this year. I can see him actually squeaking into playoffs, maybe as an 8 seed. I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping they're not a play-in team again this year. But we'll see what happens. But I am overall just a big fan of this Josh Giddey signing, and yeah, well, I can't wait to see what he does this upcoming year. Bulls preseason's coming very soon, so I'll be waiting for that. As you guys see, I'm wearing some Bulls gear. But without further ado, Josh Giddey, congrats on that contract, bud. Finally, I'm glad that you're able to come back to Chicago, and I can't wait to watch 4 more years watching you play here. Now, let's get into the Chicago Bears. And the Chicago Bears, they lost this past weekend, 27-24. I'm not going to really go too much in depth with it as Week 2 is coming along, as actually one game has already been played, Thursday Night Football between the Packers and Commanders. But the Bears, they get the Detroit Lions this weekend. But we're going to talk about Week 1 real quick. I'll just give an analysis of that real quick. 27-24 was the final score between the Bears and Vikings. And let me tell you guys, this was very disappointing to me. The Bears offense, they looked great to start the game. First drive, TD easily. And it looked like oh man, Ben Johnson's here. It's the start of a new era. Then everything just kind of slowly shifted away a little bit. Caleb Williams wasn't really all that accurate. He was 21 of 35 for 210 yards and a touchdown. He did have 6 carries for 58 yards for a touchdown. Just overall, after that first drive, the team just didn't play that great. I thought the defense played lights out until that 4th quarter. But since the offense wasn't really doing much, they were gassed by the 4th quarter where they were just getting torched on defense. And it doesn't help when you're already missing your top corner, your top linebacker, actually your top 2 corners. My fault. Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon weren't playing. TJ Edwards wasn't playing, so you're already down 3 top guys on defense with those 3 guys out. And realistically, you had to have long drives. You had to not score every drive. Like, obviously, you're trying to score every drive, but you're trying to if you're not going to score, at least make them long. Try getting points out of every single possession. As the Bears defense, you could tell in that 4th quarter, they were really tired. Rushing wise, Caleb Williams, 58 yards, 6 carries for a TD. Here's another thing. I'm looking at DeAndre Swift, and he didn't have the greatest game. He had 17 carries, which is nearly 20, and he only had 53 rushing yards on the ground, which is an average of 3.1 yards a carry. That is just inexcusable. I get maybe the line didn't play their best, which I'll be getting to that very soon, but still, you are getting paid a decent amount of money to run the football and make big plays. And I haven't seen that out of DeAndre Swift yet, as last year he struggled. This year he's off to a slow start. I'm hoping this upcoming weekend he can get a little better. I will say this Vikings defense is tough to play against. They are a tough defense, and right now I'm not gonna quit on the Bears. I'm not gonna say season's over. I don't think the season is over. I still think there's still a lot of football to be played. It was definitely a tough first test, and it's also very just frustrating because you're facing a rookie quarterback, and he probably should have won the game, as the Bears pretty much dominated the first 3 quarters. But the Vikings just played perfect football in the last 15 minutes. The receiving wise, DJ Moore had 3 catches for 68 yards to be the leading receiver. He averaged 22.7 yards on average. Olamide Zaccheaus, 4 catches for 42 yards. Rome Odunze, 6 catches for 37 yards, so got the most catches out of everybody. And he had the touchdown, the lone passing touchdown for the Bears. Cole Kmet needs to get more involved. He definitely needs to get more involved. I think the tight ends as a duo, him and Colston Loveland, have to get involved way more. Cole Kmet had a 31-yard catch. That was his only catch of the game. That came at the end of the game, which, by the way, ended up making me win my fantasy game. So I actually love him for that. But on a fan perspective, like he has to get more touches. He has to get more catches. I think Cole Kmet is one of the more underrated tight ends in the league, and I think the Bears right now, I think Caleb Williams and him, I don't know if they're on the same page or not. It feels like they haven't really been on the same page ever since they became teammates. But I'm hoping maybe this upcoming year, hoping this next week or this upcoming weekend when they play the Lions, I'm hoping Cole Kmet can definitely get more involved, and Colston Loveland, because that is your first-round draft pick. You gotta throw to your first-round draft pick. If you're drafting a guy with the 10th overall pick, I'm expecting big things. He should be playing, especially since you only won 5 games last year. You gotta throw him the ball. I mean, he's your 10th overall pick. He was your first-round draft pick. You gotta find ways to get him touches. Speaking of which, Colston Loveland, 2 catches, 12 yards. DeAndre Swift, he had 3 catches for 12 yards. Kyle Monangai, which I think he should be the lead back right now, or if not the lead back, at least they should be splitting carries between him and DeAndre Swift, because I think Kyle Monangai is actually going to be a really good piece for this Bears team this year, and I think you got to get him more involved into the offense. He had 1 catch for 11 yards, and then we got Luther Burden, who had 1 catch for -3 yards, so he had a -3 yard average, so he was the only player I heard in the top 50 to not get more than 10 pass play snaps, plus 10 pass play snaps. So definitely got to get him more involved too, especially since he was your 2nd-round pick. You got to get him more involved. It's just more weapons that you put around Caleb Williams. You got to get him out there somehow. I don't care what it is. You can get him some end arounds, maybe some trick plays, whatever you can do. Defense played pretty well for the first 3 quarters. Then they just kind of got tired out in the 4th. Noah Sewell, 7 tackles, not bad from him. He was the leading tackler this game. Not a bad game from Noah Sewell. He definitely looked really good. I won't lie. I thought he had a great game. 7 tackles. Didn't have any sacks or interceptions, but he had some great plays in the game as well. In the game, so nice job, Noah Sewell. Definitely probably solidified that 3rd linebacker spot, and I could see him be a starter for this team very, very, very soon, like at the linebacker 2 or linebacker 1 role. So. And then Kevin Byard, he had 5 tackles, 0 sacks, 0 picks. Jaquan Brisker, he had 4 tackles. It's good to see Jaquan Brisker out there after he pretty much missed all of last season with a concussion. Tremaine Edmonds had a decent game. He had a tackle for loss, had 3 tackles in total, no picks, no sacks. Nashawn Wright, I thought he didn't have a bad game as well. He was the main guy guarding Justin Jefferson, and he didn't do bad. Overall, he didn't do bad on Justin Jefferson. He actually had a touchdown to Nashawn Wright, the pick 6 off J.J. McCarthy. So not a bad game from Nashawn Wright. I think he definitely solidified his spot on this team. Tyree Stevenson, 3 tackles. Gervon Dexter, he had 2 tackles and a sack. Montez Sweat, he had 2 tackles. Grady Jarrett had the tackle, not really much from him. I'm going to butcher this guy's name. We got Tano Kapesagan. I can't say his name. I can't say his name. Kapasaganon. He had a sack. That was his only tackle of the game. Deo Deyingbo, he had a decent game pressure-wise. I thought he was getting to the quarterback pretty well, even though on the stat sheet only says he has 1 tackle. He did get that sack. Overall, this team, the defense didn't play bad. Chris Williams had a tackle, and even Ruben Williams had an assist. So it wasn't a bad game from this team. Most definitely, I wish they were able to hold on to the end, but it looked like the momentum just went on the Vikings side. The stadium turned silent in Chicago once the Vikings got all that momentum. And then Devin Duvernay, he didn't do bad kick returning wise, 3 returns for 81 yards, which is an average of 27. Luther Burden had 1 return for 44 yards, so that wasn't bad. And then Devin Duvernay had 4 returns for 37 punt yards. And then here's another thing, guys. I know the kicking situation. Cairo Santos went 1 for 2, and which is 50%. His longest field goal of the game was 42 yards, and it still looked like he barely made that too. It looked like it was curving, but it barely squeaked in. The 50-yard attempt is probably was one of the deal breakers in this game as he missed it from 50 yards. And it's like nowadays, it's Carlos Santos. He's been known for this. It's looking like he's losing his accuracy a little bit as he was nowhere close to making that 50-yard field goal. It almost makes you wonder what the Bears are going to do with that kicking situation. Carlos Santos, I mean, especially with the 50-yarder, I mean, you see guys making 55-plus, like, they're chip shots, and they're not. But you see guys just making like they're nothing nowadays. And when the Bears, they have a kicker who's supposed to be fairly accurate and have an okay leg, not the greatest leg, maybe he can go as up to 54 yards maybe. It's barely above 50. So it's going to be intriguing to see what the Bears do with the kicking position this year. I'm hoping Carlos Santos can get back on track, as Carlos Santos really hasn't been that bad for us, actually, for the past 5 seasons. If you look at the stats, Carlos Santos, he came here in, I want to say, 2020, and he went 30 of 32 that year, which is a 93.8 percentage. Next season, he went 26 of 30, 86.7%. The year after, in 2022, 21 of 23 for 91.3. 2023, he went 35 of 38, 92.1. So that was probably easily his best season or his first year with the Bears. 2024, he was 21 of 25 for an 84%, and then 2025, he's 1 for 2, and he missed the 50-yard field goal. Carlos Santos, I mean, you can see maybe he's losing, I guess, prime Carlos Santos a little bit. Maybe he's losing a little bit of that, that kicking strength or that kicking critique, so, or technique, whatever you want to call it. So the Bears, this is where I'm going to get into it. Jake Moody has signed with the Chicago Bears, and let's just look at the overall stats. He's a kid from Michigan, 2023. He played for the 49ers, 17 games played, 21 of 25 for 84 yards. He's supposed to have a big leg. It's just the accuracy is what really can kill him. Is what really can kill him sometimes is the accuracy. 2024 struggled. He missed 10 field goals, 24 of 34 for 70.6% field goal percentage, which isn't great. That's not good at all. And then this past weekend with the 49ers, he went 1 for 3, missing 2 field goals inside the 40 and 1 inside the 30. I get why the 49ers got rid of him. I mean, you got to make the ones inside the 30. You're not, no offense to those random college kickers that, it feels like you got to hold your breath every single time you kick, And Jake Moody, he has a big leg. He has a strong leg. It's just really the accuracy that you got to hope he has. And what I've seen, his first year he was all right. His second year he was not very good at all. And then this past weekend he was terrible. He was 1 for 3. But the Bears, they need some competition in there right now because Carlos Santos doesn't really have the biggest leg, and Jake Moody, he has a decently strong leg. So they're trying to they brought him in to probably get a kicking competition going, and we'll see what goes from there because Carlos Santos, if he doesn't turn it around, his days could be numbered. As Jake Moody, as you can see, they signed him to the practice squad. So it will definitely be interesting to see. It's going to be exciting to see, man. I can't wait to see what happens this upcoming week. Carlos Santos will be the kicker. They play Detroit, so I'll give you guys a brief preview of that for me. The Bears, this is a must-win for them again this weekend against Detroit, and I can probably say the same for Detroit too. I think Detroit, this is a must-win for them. Dan Campbell, there was a quote saying we're gonna win this game, like we have to. So Dan Campbell pretty much guaranteed that they're winning the game, which I hope is not true. Ben Johnson and the Bears need to get back on track this week, win the game. They get Jalen Johnson back, they get TJ Edwards back. Grady Jarrett is questionable, but I think he'll be able to play. Unfortunately, Kyle Gordon will not play this weekend, which hurts, but at least you get your top corner back and your top linebacker back, which is definitely a plus. DJ Moore has been practicing in full all week, so that's good. Just overall, the Bears are starting to get a little healthier. Kyler Gordon, we still need him to come back, though. I think he's easily one of the best nickel backs in the league. So they need him back immediately, but getting Jalen Johnson back definitely is a huge plus for this team. The Bears, it's going to be interesting to see how they do against this Detroit defense. I'm going to be interested in see how they play against the Lions offense too. I want to see what happens, what Dennis Allen comes up with. Will we see a bunch of blitzes? Will we see a bunch of zone coverage? Will we see a ton of man? I know Dennis Allen does like to run man a lot, so we'll probably see Jalen Johnson on Amon-Ra St. Brown a lot. But you gotta make sure you keep the other receivers in control for the Lions as well, because they still have Jamison Williams. They got this Isaac Tesla guy, their rookie they drafted this year, who had like an insane catch last weekend. But overall, you just gotta stop this run game for the Lions, because they still got talent. They got a talented offense. You got to be able to contain their offense, even though they struggle against the Packers. They still got a lot of talent where anything can go. But yeah, that's pretty much what I got for you guys today. Great first podcast. I'm finally ready to take this consistently. I'm gonna be consistent with this. I'm gonna be posting TikToks, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this first podcast from Travis Takes the Loop. And by the way, I'm just gonna end off. I'm gonna introduce myself really quickly again. My name's Travis. I run Travis Takes the Loop podcast. I'm an aspiring podcaster / sports broadcaster, and I want to have fun with this. I want to make this into a career, guys. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this pod, and I will see you soon. Peace.